tonight. This is our Chat and Chew, and we are excited about this opportunity to come into your homes and be able to just talk. We want you to interact with us. Like the video, share the video. Let's prepare to talk and interact on tonight. With everything going on with our culture, the climate in this world, we thought it would be good if we did something just a little bit different. And so tonight you get a chance to interact with us as we talk. So questions that you may have as it relates to black, white issues. Can a person be a Christian? That's one we're going to deal with, and be saved. So many other things. But we want you to be a part of this. And so we need your feedback. Just before we jump into it, we're getting ready for family fellowship time. And I believe this with all of my heart, that everybody deserves at least 8 hugs. I want to say that again. Everybody, I believe, deserves at least 8 hugs. So I'm asking you, if you will, right where you are, go ahead. Let's get ready to get our 8 hugs together in the cyber sanctuary. Come on, one time. Let's prepare. Let's prepare. Ready? Come on, come on. Ready? 1. Ready? That's 1. That's 1. Come on, 2. Y'all ready? Come on, come on, come on. I need you hugging. I'm looking at somebody you're not hugging. I need you hugging. Come on, come on. Ready? Come on, ready? 3. Come on, let's do it again. Come on. 4. Come on, come on, come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're halfway there.
7.
5. Come on, here it is. 6. Come on, come on. We got 2 more. Don't get tired. Somebody's not doing it. I need you to do it. Let's go. 7. Let's make this one really big. Come on. Happy feelings. Happy feelings. You ready? Listen, thank you so much. I believe this with all of my heart, that everybody deserves at least 8 hugs a day. And we're getting ready to get right into this as we're preparing for this to be able to talk about some of the issues that's going on. We're talking about white privilege, racial socialization, racially profiled. How do you respond when you're pulled over by an officer, and so forth? And so we're preparing to do that even on now. So I'm asking you, like the video, share it. I'm joined tonight by our executive pastor, Elder Freeman is with us. Amen. He's going to be blessing us tonight, as well as our chief ministry officer, Minister Jimmy Wells Jr. And so we're looking forward to what is going to be said. We need you to interact with us tonight, because I really believe that there's something's going to be said that's going to bless you. Do this for me. Turn with me to Acts chapter 10. Acts chapter 10. I want to share a couple of things real quickly and give a kingdom nugget, and then we're going to jump into some things tonight. And I need your feedback. Acts chapter 10, around verse 34, 35. Acts 10. Verse 34 and 35. And then when you read this some other time, Galatians chapter 2, verse number 11 through 14. You can read that in your own time. Galatians chapter 2, verse number 11 through 14. They'll have the information on the screen, as well as Acts chapter 10, verse 34 and 35. Listen at what it says. Then Peter stood up, opened his mouth, and said, of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. That's what he says. He stood up and said, I perceive that God is no respecter of persons. And I want to give just a kingdom nugget that's going to guide us on tonight. And the kingdom nugget tonight is simply this. In order for God to use us fully and effectively, we must break our prejudice. Let me say that again. This is black, white. In order for God to use us, black, white, men, women, use us to the fullest, he must break us of our prejudice. He has to break us in order to use us. So we're getting ready to get into this. I want to do something. Let's just have a little fun first. I'm going to show you something about when it talks about stereotype. The question will be there, and we want you to chime in with us. Whether it's a black athlete or whether it's a black person, black man, white man, whether the question or the statement applies to a white female or black female. But we just want to talk about it, and you can just kind of look at and listen for some of the stereotypes. but we need you to come in. We need you to talk with us so we can kind of communicate together. So here's the first one. Think about this. A professional athlete, and here's the statement. A professional athlete with a multi-million-dollar contract buys jewelry, cars, but lives in a rental property. I need you to type it in there. What color is he? I'm going to give it to you again. A professional athlete with a multi-million-dollar contract buys jewelry, cars, but lives in a rental property. What color is he? We're talking about stereotypes. Come on, I need you typing it in there, typing it in there, typing it in there. We're going to answer it. We're going to answer it for you. I believe that a person that does that from a stereotypical answer, we're going to say it's a black person. That's a stereotype. That's a stereotype. Here's another one. I need you. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. Here's another one. A guy walks into a well-known establishment and opens up fire, killing 200 people. A guy walks into a well-known establishment, opens fire, and kills 200 people. Stereotype. What color is he? I need you typing it. What color? Come on, get your mic, Mr. Jim. Let's talk. Let's see if you got it.
Now we all know that's a white person.
That's a white. Automatically, from a stereotypical answer thought, we automatically say white. Automatically. We're not talking about seeing right now. We're just talking about stereotypes. Okay, here's one right here. Let's see. A female, listen at this, leaves her 3 kids at grandma's house for the weekend so she can go party. A female leaves her 3 kids at grandma's house for the weekend so she can go party. What color is she?
Black. A sister. Gotta be a sister.
Black. Gotta be black. Gotta be
a sister.
See, and I hope you're getting this. The stereotypes. I need your answers coming in fast too. We need them coming in fast. But that's a stereotype. That's a stereotype. Here's one. Let's see if we're gonna get this one. A female goes skinny dipping during a hurricane.
White. Okay.
Before I can get it out, the answer comes in, must be a white female.
Must be a white female.
That's another one of those stereotypes. Stereotypes. Now remember what I said, we must get rid of our prejudice before God can use us. Because prejudice, and here it is, stereotypes, sometimes comes as a result of us prejudging people. And also based off of in the system that we're accustomed to. I believe this according to a book that Michael Goins, he says that he believed that there are 4 major causes for prejudice. 4. Listen to what Michael Goins says. He says, number 1, pride. Number 1, he says pride. Number 2, superiority complex. He says number 3, ignorance. And then the 4th one is fear. Fear of the unknown. Now let's talk about it. Let's unpack this first. And then we're going to get into some questions that I know you all are looking forward to. We need you interacting. If you have some questions, type them in there so that we can get to those. So let's look at this. He says 4 primary causes of prejudice: pride, superiority complex, ignorance, and fear. Now let's talk about this. Mr. Jim, let's talk about this pride. Why do you think that's a cause for prejudice? Pride, or those that are prejudiced. Why is it that pride is on that list? What is it about pride?
Well, you know, as a man, you know, pride can be real big. As dealing with, I ain't gonna just say man, but just dealing with the human race in itself. Sometimes our pride won't let us do the right thing, knowing that we might be doing something right, or we was taught a certain way when we was growing up younger. But sometimes that pride got kick in, like, you know, even though I know it might be right, but even though I was taught this way. Yeah. And so since that's how I was taught, I'm gonna roll with that. And that's one of the biggest things about being prideful. It'll hinder you for actually seeing a clear picture.
Wow. And I want to say this too, why he's saying that, because pride is, think about this, write it down, 2 words: exalted thinking.
Yes. That's good.
Pride. That's good. Exalted thinking. When you look at Acts chapter 10, in verse number 13 through 16, God speaks through Peter through a vision, but pride keeps him from acknowledging his shortcomings. He's talking to Peter. And then when you keep reading this, think about this. Even the scripture that we read in Acts, Cornelius he's an unsaved Roman military officer. He was a Gentile. Peter was saved. But when you look at it, think about this. Peter was saved, he was sanctified, he was set aside, but he was prejudiced. Peter, let me say it this way, was a racist.
That's good.
Saved, but he was a racist. He was filled, but he was a racist. Talking in tongues, but Peter was a racist. And I believe sometimes it's birthed out of our experiences, how we were brought up, how we were taught. And so I like that. Pride is number one, being that superiority complex. I want to mention this. That's thinking that I'm better than somebody else. So superiority complex, me believing I'm smarter than somebody else. Here's another one that causes division or prejudice, and that is ignorance. Come on, I need y'all to talk about that. Ignorance. How does ignorance cause people to prejudge? What are your thoughts on that?
In actuality, that word you mentioned earlier, ignorance. You said ignorance. You know, pride ties in with ignorance. Okay, being ignorant of not knowing who everyone is. In other words, exalting yourself above another race or another human being.
Yeah.
Not knowing that they had the same rights that you have.
Wow.
God has given us all the same freedom, and we're equal. Equality. You know, I read in the book of Genesis where it said that God gave Adam dominion over everything on earth, all the plants, the animals, but he never gave him dominion over man.
Wow. Say that again. Say that again.
He didn't give man dominion over man.
Wow.
In other words, we're all equal and we're the same. And ignorance is a form of not knowing. You know, you don't really know who you are, and you don't know who your peers are.
That's good. Think about what he said. God gave Adam dominion, I love that, over everything except man. The one person, the one thing that God did not give him dominion over was man. And I love this.
That's a principle.
That's a principle. And when you talk about ignorance, listen at this. Ignorance is the absence of knowledge, but then also embracing false knowledge.
That's good.
It's knowledge that's gone, it's missing, but then I'm embracing something that's not real. I love that God gave him, say that again?
Been raised and taught wrong.
Raised and taught wrong. That's good. Raised wrong, taught wrong, and so that's all I know. Ignorance, just don't know. But that I love that no race is above any other race. We're all created equal. Think about this. Ignorance, anytime, y'all jump in anytime. Ignorance leads to racial stereotyping.
That's good. That's good.
Anytime there's absence of like, here's why I say that. I want you to think about this. Because the stereotype says, from a black perspective, all whites are racist. Think about this. From a stereotype, all blacks are lazy and violent. All Hispanics are rapists. That's a stereotype. All Arabs or all Indians are terrorists. That's a stereotype. And when I have ignorance, or when I'm ignorant, I lack information, I lack knowledge. Now let me say this, please write this down. It's not a principle, it should have been, but write it down. I need somebody to type it there. Here it is. Everybody your color is not your kind.
Wow. One more time, Pastor.
Let me say it like we say. Everybody your color ain't your kind.
Ain't your kind.
And everybody your kind ain't your color.
Come on here.
That's good. That's good.
There are some white people that are good for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's some black people that are bad for you.
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is. Listen now. All white people aren't bad.
That's good. Amen.
All white people aren't racist. All black people aren't prejudiced.
Right.
So everybody your color is not your kind. I don't care what color you are. White, black, Hispanic, everybody your color is not your kind. But everybody your kind may not be your color. So don't miss a kingdom connection because of a way you've been taught or the way you've been thinking. Now let's look at this. White privilege, white privilege. Let's talk about this because this is really something that I really want to dig into. White privilege. And then, have you been racially profiled? And if so, how have you handled that? Let's think about it. White privilege, white privilege. I think when I think of white privilege, one of the things I think about is being preferred over another race.
That's good.
I mean, you just think about it. It doesn't mean that a person is wrong. Doesn't mean that they're prejudiced. But white privilege is knowing that you are preferred over other races. Doesn't mean that you're wrong. Doesn't mean that you're prejudiced. It's just a known fact that Caucasians, whites, are preferred over other races. Look into sports entertainment. Out of all of the major sports, baseball, football, basketball, what's another? Baseball, football, basketball, soccer, I guess it could be. Out of the major sports, there are only 2 black owners.
Yeah. 2.
And it's not because they don't have the money, but sometimes you can be pushed out, left out. Racial profiling and racial socialization, white privilege, and that is to be preferred over other races.
That's good.
To be preferred. And let me say this to anybody that's watching that's white, you have to deal with this. It doesn't mean you're wrong, but do understand that the white race is preferred over other races. They're preferred in business, in economics, and even in the Christian world. Think about this. Rarely, if ever, and I know it's a small percentage, that a white man would go to a church that's led by a black person. Very few.
That's right.
More black men will submit to white leadership.
Yes.
Now that's true.
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
Opposed to white men submitting to black leadership.
Man, that's true.
That's good.
It's preferred.
That's real.
It is preferred. I don't care who it is. It is preferred. And we're dealing with some of this even in our country, in our state, and in our city even now. And so we have to talk about it, because I believe the only way to heal a wound, you've got to expose it. And when you expose it, then you begin the healing process. So let's talk about this racial profile. That's what we're talking about. Have you ever been racially profiled? And if so, how did you handle it? How did you handle it?
Well, I can say I can go back when I was a younger man in my 20s. I was riding one night coming from downtown. I had been hanging out, got pulled over on First Avenue North, and the man said a building had been burglarized and some things had been taken away. Pulled me over, asked me to step out the vehicle, and he put handcuffs on me and stuck me in the backseat of the car. And we sat there for 4 hours, and he was calling his sergeant and lieutenant, asking him what the description was, and the guy that they were looking for was 6'4", about 230. And at that time, I was only 5'1", probably 110. And I knew then, I got a chance. I called my mom, and I told her the situation, and she came down and the first thing she said is racial profiling.
Wow.
Because I did not fit the description of the person that supposedly had burglarized the building, taking some articles.
Yeah.
So it's not a good feeling. So that's why we have to stay on point. I even tell my young sons to stay on point, stay clean, and be at the right place at the right time. Because being an African American, you can get accused, and hey, the prisons are full of men that have been falsely accused.
Yes.
Stereotype.
Yes.
Racial profile.
Yes.
So I want y'all to be encouraging to stay focused and keep your guns up.
That's
Know
right.
what you're around and what you're dealing with.
That's good. What about you, Minister Jim? Have you ever been racially profiled? And if so, how did you handle it?
Well, I definitely been racial profile. Especially, I don't know if people know about. Well, I'm quite sure people already heard about the saying, stay away from the 3 H's. And if everybody knows the 3 H's is,
Help us.
It's Hoover, Homewood, and Hueytown. Everybody know.
Say that again for somebody. This is my first time hearing it. Say that.
From the 3 H's.
I thought you was gonna say hamburgers, something else. Okay. Say it again.
Everybody know. Stay away from the 3 H's.
3 H's.
Homewood.
All right, Homewood.
Hueytown. And Hoover.
Wow.
Everybody knows to stay away from them 3.
Wow.
And for me, people that know me, I got an old school car, and as a black man driving in an old school car, because stereotypically police, when they see these cars and they see rims, first thing they think about, he must be a drug dealer.
That's right.
Being stereotyped. You know. So every time I get in that car, it never fails. Our police always following me.
Wow.
Every time I get in there. Especially, I never forget one time when I was in Trussfield, and I was up through there riding, and the police followed me from the time I hit Trussfield all the way up to where I was going, just to see what I was doing.
Wow.
Just drove behind me.
Wow.
And as a black man, I'm saying like, just come on, pull me over. Don't keep that, like, just pull me over. But I think it's more of a scare tactic that some use, because I'm sure he read my tag. I'm clean. So since he ain't got no reason to pull me over, I'm clean. I don't have tint. You can't pull me over for that.
Okay.
All right. When you pull my tag over, it's clean. It ain't stolen. I ain't got no wounds, none of that. So instead, now I can't pull him over. Let me just follow behind him, see if I can escape. You know, that had happened to me plenty of times driving that car. Just a couple of days ago, my wife was raising a profile.
Wow.
Now I ain't gonna say where she went, but she went to a Walmart that's predominantly white.
Okay.
She went there to buy a laptop because they marked the laptop down. We're trying to prepare our kids for school, for the upcoming school year. Now she went there to buy laptop. All right, they marked them down to $99. My wife called around to find out other her friends had wanted to get one. Okay, they had a total of 6.
Wait a minute, she didn't. Wife, if you looking, you didn't call me. So I didn't get in on that deal. So go ahead.
That was for the you family, but that was for the immediate family.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? The one with the key.
All right, fix it up. Fix it up.
Well, yeah, so she went there, and the people said, okay, and I'm gonna say this: everybody she talked to was Caucasian. Okay. She said, give me all 6 of them. Okay.
Wow.
Before she was getting ready to ring her up, the girl said, hold on, let me make sure that I can sell you all 6 of these. So my wife was like, okay. So when the guy, supervisor came out and said, hey, you can only buy so many of them. So my wife asked, well, is it a rule on how many that I can buy? And it's not. My wife said, next thing you know, the managers came, security came, supervisor came, all these people came and surrounded her because she wanted to buy all 6 of them, and she wasn't going to leave until she bought them. Because they were trying to find out what the inner rule stated that I can only limit, or is there a limit on how many laptops that I can buy?
Wow.
And take in mind, everybody that was around her, everybody that was in leadership was white. She was being racially profiled because she was trying to buy, give me a laptop at one time. And eventually, they had just gone ahead and let her buy. My wife, she stood her ground because I told her she did right. She stood her ground, and the lady got an attitude and said, well, just go ahead and sell it to her then, golly. Just got an attitude, you know, because my wife did, she stand her ground. You know, but, you know, as black, we deal with stuff. You think just because you got money, we ain't got money too? You think because you can buy, I tell people all the time, if you look now, we in 2020. Okay? And let me get a little closer. I need y'all to hear this.
All right.
I don't, and this me talking, I'm bold after what I say. I don't care where you try to run and go hide and move to. We in the same neighborhood that you in.
Can't run from
You cannot run. We in a society now where God is blessing his people. We can live and stay and drive with everybody else can live and stay and drive. And so we have to understand that you can't hide. Love should always be the big key. I've taught this once before. Love have no color.
Yes. That's good. That's good. That's good. I hope this is blessing you. Listen, if this is blessing you, type it in there. Give us some hearts. Let us know that you're really being blessed. You have questions, we need you to type them in there so that we can talk about them. We want to deal with them on tonight. But I pray that you're being blessed so far. Listen at this. Well, here's a question. What goes through your head when a police is behind you? And then how do you respond or react? Think about it. What goes through your head when a police is behind you, particularly if you're in one of the H's? What goes through your head when the police get behind you, and how do you respond or react? Come on, who want to jump in on that first? What goes through your head first? What goes through your head? And how do you respond and react?
That's a good question.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, I can honestly say
You don't want to know what goes through my head, or you want to keep it the Christian way?
Keep it PG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay. I think about I've been pulled over a few times, like Mr. Jimmy mentioned earlier, how they follow you. Sometimes they'll follow you a couple of miles, won't even bother.
Wow.
You know, what goes through my head, I be thinking all kind of ways. I hope they don't plant that on me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Done, you know, it was bad down in Dothan, Alabama.
Wow.
It went on for over 20 years. It was only towards African American, young African Americans.
Yeah.
So I take all of that into consideration. When they get behind me, I know it's important to be on point, you know, to be clean and follow the rules and regulations and have all your ducks in a row, because they can try and make an attempt to do some things that are not beneficial for you and not healthy for you. So in actuality, I just try to stay focused, but I always have all kinds of thoughts. Especially when I see a Caucasian. Just being honest, you know, I'm not racist, I'm not prejudiced. I believe God created all men the same way and gave all us equality, the same equal rights. But in actuality, you have a lot of racial profiling going on. So I try to just stay focused and stay positive and be calm and be respectful and say yes sir and no sir, or yes ma'am and no ma'am. And hopefully everything goes smooth and you can ride away and go home to your family. Because at the end of the day, it's all about going home to your family. That's what it's about. We have many instances here in the United States where young black men didn't make it back home. You know, so it's important that we use wisdom, don't lash out, be respectful, follow rules and regulations, do what you're asked to do, and the things will be all right.
That's good. That's good. Listen, what about you? What about you? What goes through your head? How do you respond or react?
Well, for me, it gets frustrating. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, when somebody, especially, you know, when I look at it like this. I work hard and go to work like everybody else. Don't judge me, get behind me because of what I drive. Because everybody don't sell dope.
That's right. That's true.
And one of the frustrating things about me, or what I would say is, you'll get behind and follow somebody with a car that you consider a dope car, right? But you'll have a white boy with big tires, big monster tires, and those rims and tires cost just as much or more than the rims that we ride around in, right? You'll get behind us, but won't get behind them, and not being funny, but sometimes they be the biggest dope people around here.
Wow.
You know, and that's what's really kind of crazy. And so that's how you will know, okay, you definitely stereotyping. You know, and for me, I try to just keep calm. And even now, I try to do what's right at all times. Police get behind me, I'm gonna stay calm, I'm gonna make sure I do the speed limit. You know, even when it comes to make sure I have insurance on my car. I try to make sure I have insurance on my car, make sure I have tags and stuff on my car that's legit. I make sure myself is clean. Because if I'm clean, you can pull me over all you want to, you can't do them to give me a ticket.
That's true.
And I believe the biggest thing is us as black people, we make sure we stay clean, stay out of trouble. So if we do get pulled over, you can't do nothing but give me a ticket. If that's what it leads to. You know, and like Mr. Freeman said, the biggest thing is going home. That's the biggest thing, is just going home. So like I said, somebody get behind me, police get behind me, I try to stay calm. And I say things, say yes sir. If anybody know me, I carry. So if police officer pull me, I say yes sir. I can't. Yes sir. What you need? Here's my driver's license. Here's my pistol permit. I have my pistol. It's here. You know what I'm saying? I let them know up front. Yes, I care. This is where it's at, just to be safe. And I know a lot of people about these stands, and I get all that stuff. But for me, let me just let you know from what's going on. I don't want to go through all that. Let me get my way. Here's everything you need. You need to get it? Okay, fine. Let me get out the car, sir. It's right there. You get it. You get it.
That's good.
Listen.
You get it. I ain't touching nothing. Let me get out the car and let you get it.
That's good.
And so and I do that, and just like I said, the biggest thing is being safe, being respectful, going home. I never forget about no police. A police officer tell me this all the time. He said, usually the ones that give them a lot of back talk, give them a lot of hard problems, they make sure those right there, you try to find some of them.
Wow.
Because he said most people that you don't have issues, don't have problems, have a good attitude. Usually, even if I find some weed or something on them, usually I let them go just because they ain't giving no problems.
That's good.
And so that's what I heard from a good friend of mine that I know this police officer.
That's good. And let me say this for those that are watching too. Take note of that, because sometimes it goes back to that stereotype, what they're expecting, and we have to flip the script, learning, knowing how to respond when officers pull us over. It's so key, it's so critical. I did something just for my sons. I have 4, and one's not driving, but we went ahead and bought dash cams. For our kids, just to have them for in case. You just never know. At least you have some type of anything wants to go wrong. You can kind of see that. I tell anybody, if you can't invest in them, they're $40, $50, get them. They're worth it. But I think it's important to know what to say when you get pulled over. And here's the Bible is so true. A soft answer. It turns away rap. Learning what to say, how to say it, and to quiet a situation. And I'm telling you this because it doesn't cost anything to just be mannerable. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. It puts you in a different category. And as Minister Jimmy said, they see you in a different light, and they just want to let you go. They're not trying to, trying to find things, or it's not causing them to be agitated. So please take that in consideration. But I appreciate those experiences. Here's something I want to ask, and this we got to be honest here. Do you respond differently to a white officer opposed to a black officer when you get pulled over, or when you encounter them? Do you respond differently to a black officer versus a white officer? And if so, why? Let's jump in.
That's good. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna come clean. When I deal with white officers, I be over respectful.
Hold on. Say it again, Elder. Say it again.
I deal with white officers, I be over respectful.
You go above and beyond.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good though. I'm trying to take a note.
You mentioned earlier, Pastor, what goes through your head when you see the police behind you? Especially a Caucasian. You already see this racial things taking place here in America.
Yes.
Caucasians are killing young black men. So in actuality, we got to use wisdom and be over respectful. Go above and beyond to keep peace. So nothing goes wrong. That's what it's all about, keeping peace and staying focused and going home. So I be over respectful to the white one. I be respectful to the black one, but I know you're dealing with a lot of racism here in America.
Yes.
And it's bad. And it's bad, and it's detrimental, and it's dangerous.
Yes.
So I always go above and beyond and try to be more respectful to the white. Even times when I've been pulled over by a black and a white.
Okay.
It appears to me more than so. The white do most of the talking as if he is more in control. So I say yes, sir, and no, sir, and be submissive unto him because I don't want that to go wrong. As Minister Jenny mentioned earlier, the pastor mentioned, it's about going home to your family.
That's right.
And going home whole.
Yes.
Not in pieces.
Yes.
So it's so important that we be humble and stay focused and be over respectful, especially to white officers.
That's good. What are your thoughts, Mr. Jimmy? Jump in.
Well, usually white or black, because now I know we're on this white and black thing, but let's keep it real. You got some black folks that officers that act like white ones, so
that's true.
We just gonna be real on that. So for me, if I get pulled over, I usually wait till that person come up and I watch their demeanor.
That's good.
For me, watching their demeanor, how they interact with me, determines how I react with them.
Okay.
That's good.
Because if I see somebody, like you were saying, being over nice, when you see someone come up looking at you crazy, gun up, hand on their gun, first thing you're like, okay, here we go. Let me make sure I don't do that crazy. Just make sure you're being careful. Like I said, you're being extra nice. Yes, sir, what you need. And that's when I go back and tell them, yeah, I got this. I got this. Here's my information. What else you need? Yes, sir. I make sure that I'm always having a positive attitude. Yeah. As frustrating as you can be when something like this happens, and especially when they pull you over some humbug, just to be putting you over just cause. Yeah. And of course, when they pull you over, they're gonna come up with some the reason why they pull you over. And sometimes the excuse or the reason they give you for putting you over, sometimes you want to look at it, you want to say, and sometimes you really like this, really what you really put me over for that. Yeah. Like really, you just. So like I said, as I get older now, I'm realizing, like you said, the most important thing is going home. Yeah. With so much going on with police officers and stuff like this, you have to continue to have a positive attitude, as frustrating as it may be. Yeah. As mad as you may get. Yeah. You must continue to just remember to have a positive attitude whenever you get pulled over dealing with black or white police officers.
That's good. That is good. And I pray somebody's getting this. I pray, I don't know, we'll find out if we have any questions in a second, but I pray that this is really being a blessing to you, opening up your eyes, helping you in some way or some form. Let me say this, because when you look at it, going back to Acts with Peter, he was prejudiced. And let me pause and say this to somebody. All prejudice, all racial prejudice is sin.
That's good.
I don't care how we look at it. Whether it's black against white, whether it's white against black, white against Hispanic, all racial prejudice is sin. That's good. Because as Elder Freeman said, God made all of us equal. And it says it in our text that we read. Peter said, God is not a respecter of person. That's good. He's not a respecter of person. But Peter himself had prejudice. He was racial. He was a racist. Yes. And so it's possible to be saved and love God and don't or have not dealt with the underlying racism that's on the inside.
That's good. That's true.
Because if I look at a person and I prejudge them based off of their skin, based off of where they live, what they drive, that's a sin. That's a sin. And so it behooves us as the body of Christ to get rid of the racial prejudice and understand that ignorance is the reason. Lack of knowledge, lack of information, and sometimes embracing false information. Embracing false information. So all racial prejudice is sin. There's a word, two words that I want to just mention, and that is racial socialization. Let's at the definition of it. The developmental process by which children acquire their values of their ethnic group, and they begin to see themselves as a member of that group. Here is what one psychologist says, a clinical child psychologist says, by the age of 3, children begin to develop their racial socialization skills. They know how to identify with certain groups based off of the developmental process, how they were brought up, what they do, how they respond, how they act. It messed me up just today. Matter of fact, before we came today, I was walking my dogs in the neighborhood, and a little white kid came up to me, and he had his mask on. He came up to me, he says, "Hey, Mr. Wren, is Keelan at home?" And I said, "No, he's not there. He'll be there shortly." "Why? What's going on?" He says, "Well, I want to go and tell him bye because we're moving to Arkansas and I'm going to miss him." And so I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, he'll be home in about 30 minutes. And so I got to the house, and when Keelan got home, I told him, I said, "Hey, your friend came by, saw me outside. They're going to stop by, him and his other brothers, to see you because they're leaving, going out of town." And lo and behold, the doorbell rings, and it's all 3 of them. 3 white kids come up there to talk to him. And I went outside just before I left, and he was sitting on the side of the porch. He didn't see me. And I said, "Keelan," and he's crying because his little Caucasian friends are leaving. moving to Arkansas, and that touched me. But I thought about that because what if when he first met them, his parents or their parents said he couldn't come down here and play? What if, you know, when they came up the first time, same age, 3 of them brothers, they came up, I told Keelan, you can't play with them. Go find somebody in the neighborhood that looks like you. That's racial, social. You learn it in the house. You develop those skills and acquire those when you're in the house, so you know how to identify with certain groups. And so I'm saying this to us because if we, particularly the body of Christ, if we're going to ever deal with racism and get rid of it out of the body of Christ, it starts with us, number one, admitting it and dealing with it at home.
That's good.
Because racial is taught.
It's taught. That's good.
It's taught.
It's taught.
Right.
It's taught.
It's taught.
That's right. That's good.
It's taught. I love that. It's taught.
That's good.
And so we have to deal with it. Can I say this? Even in the body of Christ, Martin Luther King says it this way: the most segregated place on a Sunday morning is church.
That's
White church,
that's real.
Black church,
That's real.
Hispanic. Might I suggest to you that there is only going to be one heaven.
That's right.
And so we have to do everything we can to try to make it work, as they used to say, practice down here for the real thing up there.
Yeah, that's good.
Because it's not going to be a black heaven.
No.
It will not be a white heaven.
No.
And if we can't get along here, it's going to really be a culture shock when we get up there. So it's important that we do this. Second Chronicles 7:14 gives it to us. It says, if my people, think about this. He didn't say if white people. God didn't say if black people. He said, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, which means there is some pride in all of us. I'm not talking about the good pride that says, I'm proud of my heritage, I'm proud of my color, I'm proud of my forefathers. No, I'm talking about the exalted pride that makes us think we're better than somebody. He says, if we will humble ourselves, pray, seek his face, turn from their wicked ways. Listen at the word, and God says, my people have wicked ways. My white people have wicked ways. My black people have wicked ways. And if we turn from it, he says that he will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and then heal the land. I believe this with all of my heart. And I could be wrong, but I believe this. The problems that exist in our country today is not because of the Republicans. I believe this. It's not because of the Democrats. It's not because of the gays. It's not because of the lesbians. It's not because of transgender. I believe it's because God's people won't do their part. And if the body of Christ do their part,
That's good. That's good.
a lot of what we see, we wouldn't see.
That's good.
Because it takes us coming together. And we are the cure for the world today. And I mean this. I want Elder Freeman, Minister Jimmy, give us, in another minute or two, give us some closing remarks about what we discussed tonight. We got to do this again. Time just got away from us, but give us, for about a minute, some closing remarks about what we talked about. Give us a closing statement.
I want to talk about the white privilege thing.
Okay.
I'm aware of this, corporate America way is, you can be qualified, or you can also be overqualified for a job or career or occupation. And you can be an African American, be overqualified and go in and apply for the job. And here you got this Caucasian or this male or female, they apply for it and they're not even qualified. But they're having the privilege to have that job before you would.
Wow.
Because of this racial thing, like I said, like Pastor mentioned earlier about the white privilege. You just got more privilege. I went on a setting about a week or so ago, and I really didn't like it. And I looked at how it was set up. When I went in the office, you had all these computers, and you had all Caucasians sitting at the computer.
Okay.
And then you go on the outside, you see all these African Americans on these forklifts sweating.
Wow.
Sweating and working hard, just out there just working hard. And I didn't like that setup, I'm sure somebody that's an African American was qualified to sit behind one of them. But yet and still, I didn't see that.
You didn't see it.
I didn't see it. And it bothered me, and I prayed about it. I said, Lord, we need to break these racial barriers. We need to break this racism, this thing that you showing, they showing favoritism, you know. As Pastor Rand mentioned earlier, our senior pastor, he said, God is not a respecter of person.
Yeah.
Meaning God doesn't show no favoritism.
Yeah.
No matter what your color is. In actuality, God don't see no color. I got a female friend, we've been friends for a long time, you know, spiritually. She a woman of God. She said, God see all of us being clear.
Wow.
She said, when we stand before God, we're clear. You know what I'm saying? No colors. And I like that. So in actuality, we got to stay a step ahead. I tell my sons all the time, you know, you got to be a step ahead. Because the odds is against you being African American. Now, I don't teach them to be racist or to be racist toward another race or color, but I teach them to be ahead of the game. Stay a step ahead of the game. Because you want to be qualified, overqualified to do what you desire to do.
That's true.
And fulfill your dreams and visions.
That's good.
Share with that.
That's good. That's good. Minister Jimmy, give us a closing remark.
Just for me, I would say a closing remark is just remember, you know, everything that we talked about here tonight, especially being, you know, black, white. You know, it is, and some white people get, you know, racial profile depending on, you know, where they go. So it ain't being racial profile goes both ways.
Yes, good. That's good.
So we don't want to be just say, okay, it's just black, because it does go both ways.
That's
and
right.
it happens.
That's right.
Even though it happens on the black side more, but it does happen to both sides. So we definitely want, you know, be careful of that. But just remember, the most important thing is walk in love. If I can say anything, just always walk in love. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get pissed off. Let's be honest with you. You're going to get upset.
That's true.
That is one of the most aggravating things to get racial profile. They have not, you get work, they might already say the N-word to you. Like it literally can be that frustrating. But I'm going to say this. And God rest my grandma's soul, and I've said this before. My grandma told me this. You have to understand that the people that we're dealing with, it's not the person, but it's the spirit within them.
Wow.
My grandma, I would never ever forget what she said. And that has stuck with me, that understand that everybody that's walking around here, it's not the person, but it's the spirit that is within them. Will cause them to act that way. And we have to remember to continue to walk in love and pray for our brothers and sisters.
That's good. That's good. Listen, we thank you. Thank you for your time tonight. It is my prayer that you have been blessed. Something that was said ministered to you, encouraged you. It enlightened you, opened up your eyes. And I know we didn't come out of the Bible for the whole Bible study like we normally do. We'll get back to that next week. But we just wanted to do something just a little bit different tonight. And it is my prayer that your heart has been charged. And then you've been changed by the information. And certainly I appreciate Elder Freeman and Minister Jimmy both just getting off work. But rush straight here so that we can get on together just to share with you some things that are on our heart. And let me say this as we prepare to end, and that is we will no longer, it's something I wrote down, we will no longer be victims, but we are victorious through the blood of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And it is our responsibility, blacks and white, to build God's kingdom through love. That's the way we build it, through love. And so we thank God for each of you. Listen, this is something that we get an opportunity to do. I'm excited about this because every Wednesday night, we get an opportunity to bless someone in healthcare. With at least $25, a $25 gas card, as well as our lunch on KBB. And we've been doing this since the pandemic, and we plan to continue this. And so tonight, the information will be on the screen. The recipient of the $25 gas card tonight is Miss Mary Thomas. Miss Mary Thomas. Yes, she's the recipient, Mary Thomas. She works at St. Vincent's East as an anesthesia tech. Did I say that right? Yeah. All right, anesthesia tech at St. Vincent's East, Miss Mary Thomas. Somebody tag her, let her know. She is the KBB Bless Me recipient for the healthcare and first responder. And something slipped out last week. We did something and we just decided we'll do it for the whole month of June. We're blessing our teens. Last week it was our drummer, Brother John Terry Wells, who's going to be leaving in a little while, going off to higher learning. And so this week the recipient of the KBB Bless Me is another one of our teens, Sister Ayana Jones, one of our praise dancers. So let's say amen for her. And we get to honor our teens this month, and even those that aren't here, we want to honor them. So we're looking forward to doing that for the rest of the month. But Mary Thomas, it's your time. It's a privilege for Kingdom Builders to be able to honor you, and we're glad for the opportunity to do that on tonight. So we thank you for this privilege. Thank you to those that give. It's your giving that makes it possible. And I want to take a moment just to encourage you. If you're a giver, we appreciate everything you do. There are 4 ways to give on the screen. If you would like to sow into the ministry, you can do it through Givelify, through Cash App, the traditional way. Or you can text KBMG to 54244. That's KBMG to 54244. The information will be on the screen. We appreciate every seed that you sow. And we thank God for you enabling us to be able to do ministry like we're doing it. I thank God for you. And until Sunday morning, we're going to be blessed Sunday. We got a surprise for you. Matter of fact, Minister Jimmy is he's gearing up, y'all. He's gearing up. So Sunday's going to be special. And I'm looking forward to what's going to take place on Sunday morning. Make sure you tag someone, text them, tune in Sunday at 8:55 a.m. I believe God has given him a word for us.
It's going down, y'all.
It's going down. All right, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. I'm looking forward to what God is going to say on Sunday morning. I love you, and until next time, tomorrow morning, tune in at 12 noon for the midday motivation, and let's keep building the kingdom one person at a time. I love you, and we're praying for you. Be blessed.
Amen.
That's good. That's good.
Amen.
I enjoyed that. I learned some things.